Hi guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you're returning. My name is Jeanette, aka Sweet Jean, and today is a true story telling you about the time that I got hit on the top of my head with an iron. The kind of iron that you iron your clothes with. So, my son was probably about 3 years old at the time, and we were in a little 2-bedroom apartment. And I was a single parent, so it was just me and him. And so I had a dirty laundry basket in my closet that I would throw my clothes in once I would get home from work. I'd take off my uniform and I'd throw it in the basket. Every day, you take off your clothes, you throw your clothes in the basket. And then on Sundays, I would go to the wash area and I would wash clothes. So I started to get lazy and the clothes started to pile up. I mean, so much so where it was just overflowing. I mean, I probably had at least two and a half baskets full of dirty laundry that needed to be done. So I said to myself, you know what, this is getting out of control. I just need to separate the clothes, take it all to the wash area and just get it all done in one day. So I went ahead and put on a movie for my son in the living room so he would be occupied and entertained, I don't know. And so I said, okay, well, I just plopped myself on the floor in front of the closet. I keep looking at the closet. I just plopped myself on the floor. So I'm sitting on the floor on my butt. I think I was sitting Indian style. And I started going through the clothes, and I'm just grabbing clothes, and I'm putting all my son's clothes in a pile on this side, putting all the whites behind me, putting all the colors to this side, all the like red and pinks in front of me. Like, I just made piles of clothes so that they would be separated. You know what I mean. So I got to the point where I had separated all the clothes that I could reach, but there was still like a lot of clothes towards the back of the closet and on the sides. So what I did was I leaned forward to where I was like on my knees. I grabbed all the clothes like with both of my arms, like if I'm hugging it, all the clothes, and then I pulled back and sat back on my butt so that all the dirty clothes could be like on me on my lap so I could separate that. Well, when I did that, I didn't realize a moment before I did that I had my iron on the most top shelf, because there was two in my closet, and the cord was hanging down, and I didn't really notice it because I have so much clothes hanging. I have so much clothes on the floor. It was just like messy. I had a messy closet, you know what I mean? And so I didn't really realize that cord was hanging down. So when I reached forward and it was like kind of on my knees, and when I hugged all the clothes and brought it back, I didn't realize that I yanked on the cord of the iron. And when I did realize what I had done, it was too late. The moment that I realized what I did, not a second later did I, boom, get hit on the top of the head with the iron. It was so hard and it hurt so bad that I thought that for sure my skull was cracked. And if it not like cracked, then probably a hairline fracture. Like, there's no way in hell that I did not get some type of crack on the top of my head. So I immediately put both my hands on top of my head. I'm holding my phone so I can't do the other hand, but I have both my hands on the top of my head, and I'm squeezing my head. This hand, my right hand going this way and this hand going that way. Like, I'm squeezing my skull together with both my hands, because I feel like I'm holding my skull together, because I thought I had like a crack going like this. And so I had this hand this way and another hand my other hand that way. So I'm holding my head together, because in my mind If you've seen some of my true story videos, you know how dramatic I can be. But in my mind, I thought that I had cracked my skull, or at least got a hairline fracture. My brain is now starting to swell, and if I let go of my head, that brain is going to want to release itself through the crack, and then my head's going to really split open. And I thought that, I don't know, in like seconds I thought that. And then I remember holding my breath. I couldn't breathe and tears were coming down. I did not want to cry out loud. God, did I want to cry out loud, but I didn't want to because my son was down the hall in the living room watching TV. And I didn't want to scare him. But I remember holding my breath so much that I started to see like flutters of like lights, like when you're about to pass out, when everything like turns gray and then you see like little light flashes. Well, I was like, okay, take a breath, breathe, get oxygen. And so then I must have whimpered because my son, I hear him coming down the hall like really slowly. And then he turns in my room and looks. He goes, Mama? And so he was scared because he didn't know what was going on. He had never seen me crying with tears, holding my head together, whimpering, because I didn't want to cry out loud, like I said. So finally I'm like taking some breaths and I'm like, I could barely talk. And I just remember saying like, it's okay, puppy, it's okay, puppy. Go watch TV. Mama's okay. And crying while I'm saying this and trying to smile through it so that he wouldn't be scared. And so then he kind of just was reluctant, and then he went back to watch TV because I'm saying, it's okay, puppy. It's okay. Mama's fine. Mama's okay. But it hurt so bad to even talk. I don't know. It's just weird. So anyhow, I finally said to myself, you know what? I have to figure out how bad it is. So then I released one of my hands and I kept the other hand like this, holding my head together. And I looked at my hand to see like how much blood I had, and I didn't see any blood. And I'm like, what? Why don't I have blood? So then I put that hand back on top of my head and squeezed my head together, and then I removed the other hand. And then I looked at the other hand and I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, like, why don't I have any blood on me? Like, for sure I have blood. Nope. And so then I'm like, what? So then I'm feeling around like, where's this crack, and I don't feel it. So I'm like, okay. So I didn't want to let go of my head. Like, I always kept at least one hand on my head, like holding my head together. And then I got up slowly and like slowly walked into the restroom, and I'm like looking in the mirror and I'm like searching for this crack, and there's no crack. And then I finally decided to let go of my head with both my hands, just like let my head free. And I was like, still alive. Like I thought in my mind, like I said, that it was really bad. Like I thought my skull had cracked or I got a hairline fracture. I felt like my brain was swelling and it needed to be released, and that it was going to make its way through the crack, and then that hairline fracture is going to be a crack. And then my brain's going to spill out, and then I'm going to die, and then my 3-year-old's going to find me dead and not know what to do. So anyhow, I didn't die. I did not get a crack or a hairline fracture, but what did happen was I had gotten this huge welt on the top of my head, huge bump. And the only thing that I can describe it to you as is like the cartoons, the Roadrunner and the Coyote. Like when the Roadrunner drops like a ton of like a cinder block on top of the Roadrunner's head, and then the Roadrunner's head goes whoop, and then he gets this big huge bump. That's what I had on the top of my head. But I had so much hair at the time, and so thick hair and wavy hair, that you really couldn't see it unless I pointed it out, and then you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I could see it. So anyhow, that is a story about the time I got hit on the top of the head with an iron from about 6 feet above me. Anyhow, thank you so much for tuning in. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section. And subscribe if you haven't already. And I will talk to you in the next one. Okay, bye.